so a wonderful afternoon, a beautiful Saturday so far to all of our viewers at the moment. Welcome to another Facebook Live. Well, basically, this is the first book talk here at Eight Letters for 2023. And this is your host, as well as your book curator, Cindy Wong. And I would say it's been, or it feels like it's been a while since we last did this book talk thing here at Eight Letters. I thoroughly enjoyed that few weeks of break. So if there's one person well, hindi masyadong happy, like 50-50 happy bumalik sa work, I think that's me. But yeah, I'm really enjoying my break so far. But yeah, we have to get back to work. But anyway, we're going to launch two books, two titles for today. Here we have two authors. Firstly, we have Operation Black September, by Chris Canonigo, and we'll have Empty Tank, um, by another Filipino, or by another Cebuana author later. We'll introduce her later as well. So, well, let me show you the book first. So this is Operation Black September. It's a very thick book, as you can see. I think it's about 650 pages. Okay, and this is one of the books under Crime Lab because this is a thriller as well as a mystery genre. Yeah, so yeah, there you go. We actually launched this book during the Indie PubCon last November, but of course, we want to officially welcome these authors under Eight Letters, no? So that's why we're doing this. It's very important to do this. This is sort of a ritual na for our authors. Okay, so without further ado, let me call on Sir Chris. Hi, how are you
Yes,
doing?
ma'am. Good afternoon. Good afternoon,
Good
everyone. For those who are viewing this online streaming. So I'm so happy that I have been invited by Eight Letters, especially with by Miss Cindy Wong. So thank you for the opportunity for airing my project, and hopefully we will have more in the months to come. I think I am open to questions for any clarifications, for any interrogation, because this is a crime. This is
afternoon.
a thriller. So if I'm ready to be interrogated, I think I'm ready. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Ayun. Don't worry. I'll try to make this interrogation light, as light as possible. Okay. So,
Okay.
well, Operation Black September. So, before we get into this book, this 650-page book, maybe let's talk about how you started as a writer. I believe this is not your career talaga, no, Sir
Yes,
Chris?
yes, 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 ma'am.
Mhm. Okay, so how did you come upon this industry, or ano ba, para ba tong epiphany na bigla na lang nangyari, ganyan?
No, 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 no. Actually, I've been trying to write ever since in my high school days. I was a government. I was studying here in Cebu, and I've been watching movies, reading books. So it came to my mind, why don't I write my own book? So because my late mom before
Mhm,
always give me a storytelling session
mhm,
every time I go to sleep, because I happen to be the eldest, and
mhm,
I have three more siblings, younger siblings than me, my
mhm,
younger siblings. So being the eldest, because our age gap is rather very long. We have my second youngest brother is a 7 to 8 year gap. So I was the one who can easily understood the initially fairy tales,
mhm,
something like that. And later on in high school, I watched TVs before,
mhm,
especially now the I don't want to tell my age because people may sorry, confidential yan. But I watched before Voltage 5 during the 70s and 80s, those MacGyver,
mhm,
Airwolf, Knight Rider. Those were those were the TV shows I watched before. So I love thrillers. I love action. So
Mhm.
later on in college, I began to read techno thrillers, especially the one with Dale Brown and Tom Clancy. They were the pioneers in
Mhm.
the industry. So I started reading. So it came to my mind, why don't I write? But I've been so busy before. I worked abroad. I was exposed to
Mhm.
different countries. So after being exposed, so I finally made a firm decision to write na talaga.
Mhm.
I started write rather late, but it's never too late, as they say. So as they say, the rest is history. I started writing full time na after work for the last 3 years, 4 years. So I
Mhm.
think this is the output, and I already created the roadmap for the genre for this Republica series because
Mhm.
it's about patriotism for the love of country. Actually, this is non-political. It's more on patriotism.
Mhm.
That's my idea about loving your country is to be creative, and I also realized that there's just too much, in the genre in this genre. It's too much Western oriented.
Mhm.
So I realized that it's about time a Filipino should rise up to the occasion,
Mhm.
and especially Asian, because wala pa masyadong Asian or Filipino for that matter to write in this kind of stories. I read
Mhm.
some before, but it's not really full-fledged writing to this kind
Mhm.
of to this extent. Ba? So
Mm.
I have decided to make a roadmap, and initially I make some um, installment per book. So this is going to be the first. I'm already writing right now the second. I hope to finish the second book by March or April. Latest will be April. So I'm hopefully I already have the roadmap for the third. So I'm targeting around 10 or 12 books for this Republica series. Republica is about our country. The Philippines is the first republic in Asia. We
Mhm.
were the first republic. Unfortunately, however, we have been lagged behind by our neighbors. So I
Mhm.
want to inspire people. I want to inspire our countrymen to work hard. It's not about politics. It's to become better than themselves. Being patriotism must become better than yourself every day. Being patriotic, being God-centered, being positive person you can be to help other people, to help your fellow men, to help other Filipinos. This is just my short idea. Making Filipinos aware of their worth as a first people, as a race.
Mhm.
Yes, that's what I see, Miss Cindy.
Ayun. Thank you, Sir Chris,
Okay.
for that
Hmm.
expanded response. That is very
Hmm.
helpful talaga, especially if you want
Hmm.
to describe
Hmm.
how you started, and then finally having that idea, turning that idea
Hmm.
into a book, into a story.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I must agree na, if you grow up with people telling you like storytelling, you're surrounded by storytellers. Yeah, you
Hmm.
end up being a storyteller yourself. Kasi,
Hmm.
yung iba talaga yung nagagawa ng storytelling. Parang,
Uh,
nade-develop yung
hmm.
utak natin. And then, of
At the
course,
same
Mhm.
At the same time, I also want to inspire our fellow Filipinos because
Mhm.
it's not only me who have this talent. There are so many
Mhm.
Filipinos there who have talented. It's only how to tap that talent that they have right now.
Mhm.
So I want to set an example that if I can do it, others can do it. Other Filipinos can do it. Others.
Mhm.
It's not regionalistic. It's about regardless of your race, regardless of our
Mhm.
dialect, regardless of your region in the Philippines, because what I
Mhm.
see Filipinos are too regionalistic. We should shed away our regionalistic, but act as one people, as one race, regardless of dialects, regardless of region in the Philippines. So I want to inspire fellow Filipinos.
Mhm. Yun. Well, hopefully that time would come in the future. Parang kailangan pa ng course, more education pagdating sa mga ganyang mga bagay.
Yes, yes,
But
ma'am.
but okay, going back to Republica series,
Mm.
there are going to be 10 books under that
10 to
series.
11. I'm looking at 10 to
10 to
11.
11.
Mm.
Yan. So, may titles na ba yung ibang
I already have the title for the second book and also the third book. So I cannot yet think of the fourth book right now, but initially for the second and third.
Okay. So perhaps can you talk about who's the main character, the protagonist in this story? Sino yung bida natin dito?
The protagonist here is Filipino-Chinese because I want to integrate the Filipino-Chinese community also in this book because sometimes there are tendencies among the Filipinos that we are there are those who are xenophobia, those who look other fellow Filipinos with contempt. So that's let go of that. So the main character is a certain Colonel James Go. Is a Filipino-Chinese soldier. He's a scout ranger operator. So he has been a career official in the armed forces, but he has been thrust into this, shall we say, a storm, and being confidant of the president. Oh, by the way, this is just fictional. All the characters here are fictional. So he's just been thrusted into this conflict, and eventually he becomes the enemy of a new regime that emerges in the process, because this first book is the rise of a new leader who will overthrow the existing president and establish himself as a strong man, shall we say, and he imposed martial law in the country. So eventually, the existing president was deposed, including this Colonel Go, who fought behind enemy lines to reclaim who was the rightful president in the country. So that's the initial stage in this book, in this Black September. It happened on September. So I will not tell anything because it might be spoiler. So I invite people to patronize and read this for themselves. So I just want to say that the entire event happened in September. It's black because there's darkness, and people may ask me, why is the color of your book red? It's going to be red because it's going to be a bloody Black September. So I don't want to promote violence, but it's just a fiction, like I said. But this is going to be a very destructive, dark day for our country. Just for fiction. That's what I see.
Ayun. So, of course, everyone knows that this is just fiction, okay? Product of Chris Canodigo's imagination. Yun. So, of course, ayun. Okay, so that is the protagonist. That's the main character. That's the background of the story. But if I'm not mistaken, the story also revolve around like different countries.
Yeah, different parts of the country, but within the Philippines.
Okay, different parts of the country within the Philippines, but there are also like some parts, like for example, okay, there's Ayungin Shoal, San Pedro. Parang it also, I think I came upon an international setting. Tama po ba?
The foreign players lang, my foreign players. Mga foreign actors.
Okay, mga foreign actors, foreign players.
Yes.
Ayan.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think it's also good to highlight that this is actually promoted by Ping Lacson, if I'm not.
Yes, I got the endorsement of Senator Ping Lacson.
Ayan. So, ayan. So I can see that you have a very rich background, politically wise, and also, well, you've mentioned a lot of places here in the Philippines dito sa book na to. So
Mm.
when you were writing this story, do you have, or have you planned the plot like entirely? Do you usually um plan ahead, like, okay, this is what's gonna happen, or do you usually like just go with the flow?
No, I have a mapping. I have a
Mm-hmm.
long-term mapping for a particular book, for a particular chapter. And I already plan, I organize the characters, the person, their roles, their background, and even the places. So I contextualize everything from start to finish. So it takes a lot of research because I do a lot of research also. I do not just want to pick anything from the air. So I have to contextualize them based
Mm-hmm.
on the situation, their condition, even the way they breathe, what they wear. So though there might be some there might be some minor corrections, but it's really I do a lot of planning talaga from starting to finishing. So I organize them. I also took notes per chapter, so I won't
Mm-hmm.
forget. So there will be correlated from start to finish. There will be no conflict from start to finish. Everything has to be related.
Right. Ayun. So, Sir Chris, how long did it take you to write this book? Going back to your process, and knowing na, okay, meron kang mapping na
Mm,
ginawa, like, how long did
mm.
it take you to write this 650-page book? And I can see
It
that
took
you're in your office right now. So, uh,
it took me 3 years to write this book. For the first book, this is the first book, but now I
mhm,
learned a lot. I have learned so many things. I do a
mhm,
lot of research. I read. I look at tutorials via YouTube. I look at
mhm,
different online tutorials. So how to write a techno thriller. So I'm very open to ideas. I don't close my mind. So
mhm,
this first book took me almost 3 years to write this, but upon learning the nitty gritty, the intricacies, so I've been able, like I said, I've been able to organize them. So right
mhm,
now, writing the next books onward is more organized now. I learned
mhm,
it along the way. Every time I write, I always take note what needs to be improved.
mhm.
So it's about work in progress.
Okay.
Actually, I have offers right now to write a memoir of a
Mhm.
particular person.
Oh.
Maybe we can work that later on. It's a very popular, it's a very
Mhm,
known person here in Visayas. He's a businessman, but
mhm,
I will not tell you the name. But I'm planning. We will talk about that later on. I'm
mhm,
also writing another project also in parallel with this Republica
mhm,
on another techno thriller, which is Indo-Pacific environment. Between
mhm,
Indo-Pacific covers from India, Middle East to China to the Far East. It's again techno thriller, but on a much more bigger scale. But
mhm.
hinay lang, focus muna ito.
Oo.
And once I finish it, I will write parallel with the title will be East Wind. I'll just give you the name na
Mhm.
initially.
Oo.
So so I'm very bullish because I hope I will be the first Filipino writer in this genre in this
Mhm.
country and hopefully in Asia.
Ayun.
That's
Wow. So,
yes, that's my vision. I mean, personal vision.
wow. So the vision is to become the first techno thriller writer. Parang si Tom Clancy here in the Philippines or in
I just
Asia.
want to no, I want to establish my own persona. Please, Canonico. I don't want to adopt Tom
Okay.
Clancy.
Okay.
I admire Tom Clancy. I'm nothing against Tom
Mhm.
Clancy. I love his works. I am inspired by his works. But I want
Mhm.
to establish my own persona also as a writer.
Mhm.
No offense, it's okay. But That's I
No
just want to
offense.
project my own. Thank you, thank you.
Okay, no worries,
Okay.
Sir Chris.
Uh,
So okay, so wow, okay, so that's a lot of project for 2023. Thinking about, especially considering na it took you
mm,
3 years to write this
mm,
first
mm,
very thick 650 pages
mm,
novel. Okay,
mm,
so will it the because it's a series, will we
mm.
have the same protagonist sa second and third, or like the succeeding books, or
I cannot tell right now, but on the second and third, it's still the same protagonist.
Mm-mm,
But I cannot. It's too early to tell. But
mm-hmm,
for the second book, I'm already talking with a certain senator also, former senator,
mm-hmm,
who will endorse my second book. I cannot reveal the name right now because this is still in the negotiation stage, but he is also very interested. He's a former senator at the time of Cory Aquino, the late Cory
mm-mm,
Aquino. So he's also very interested upon learning that Senator Ping Lacson endorsed my first book. So he said, "Why not? It's okay, no problem. I'm willing to help you as a budding writer." So
mm-hmm.
I cannot tell you, it's very premature. Once I finalize the second book by March or April, we can talk about that later on, Miss Cindy.
Mm-hmm. Ayun. So, Sir Chris, I understand that you prefer not to be regionalistic, but
Mm,
well, since you're an author coming from Cebu,
mm.
um, don't you think like you have something to prove na, okay, Cebuano writers naman. Parang ganon.
No, 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 no. To be honest with you, Miss Cindy, my mother is a daughter of from an architect in Luzon,
Mm.
half Bulacan, from Hagonoy, Bulacan.
Ah, okay,
I have
okay.
my step cousins. I actually invited them also. I hope they are watching.
Mm-hmm.
They are from Luzon, so I have no problem with the people of Luzon. I love people in Luzon. I love
Ah,
Tagalogs. I love people in
ah,
Ilocos. So
mm,
I am regionalistic blind. So I don't
mm,
care about what areas are you in the Philippines, because we are all in the first place Filipinos.
yeah.
Why should yes? So like I said, I don't want to project that image na Cebuano naman. No, I Filipino naman, not
Ah,
Cebuano,
okay.
not Tagalog, but Filipino naman. If not Asian,
Mm-mm.
so so that's the way I see things, because I have blood in me that is Bulakenyo,
Mm-hmm.
Hagonoy. Actually, my late grandfather also has roots from Pampanga and
Mm-hmm.
Ilocos. That's what my late grandfather, because I was able still to meet him in the late 80s, in the late 80s. So I was able to rediscover my roots before.
Mm-hmm. There, ayan. So I just want to stop shortly
Mm,
to promote the book. Okay, so this is the
mm,
link. You just have to go
mm,
to 8lettersbooks.com/shop, or you can check out the same title sa Shopee and Lazada pages ng
mm,
8 letters. So just search Operation Black September by Chris Canonigo. It's under the Crime Lab category here
mm,
at 8 letters. So kasi recently we also released a few more imprints, no, under eight
mm,
letters. So para mas
mm,
categorize siya. So if you're
mm,
into mystery, thriller, techno thriller,
mm,
crime, so
mm.
this one is for you. So
Okay.
you may also check the other Crime Lab books, book collections. Okay, so there you go. It's only 850 pesos for a 650 page book. It's a very thick book, as you can see here. Um, we launched this last November, and so far, okay naman yung sales. We already got some sales already for Operation Black September. So there you have it, guys. Please get a copy. All right, so ayan. Let's continue, Sir Chris. So
Mhm,
konting
mhm,
advertisement.
mhm,
Okay, there you have it. Okay, so going back, going back to the book. Um,
mhm,
again, napag-usapan natin kanina kung sino yung protagonist, kung sino yung
mhm,
kung ano yung settings
mhm,
ng
mhm,
libro. Like how about like the people surrounding James Go, yeah, like the
Go,
protagonist.
go, go. Yes.
So how about
Uh,
the people surrounding him? Okay, so there's the president.
uh,
Okay,
uh,
so
uh, uh.
parang siyang right hand ng president.
Yes, 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 yes.
Um, could you tell us sino naman yung kalaban nila dito?
I
Or
will not tell the
spoiler?
name right now, but I just want to say to explain the background to give the
Okay.
background. He
Mhm.
is the Senate President at that time. Senate President. He has very strong ambition. He is a
Mhm.
Taipan. Taipan is someone who is very
Mhm.
rich, and he is the third richest person in the country. But he is
Mhm.
also a politician. He
Mhm.
has so many businesses, and
Parang kilala ko 'yan.
there. No, it's like I said, it's fiction. and and he has a very strong ambition to become the president.
Mm.
He is moving heaven and earth to to become the president by whatever means necessary. He is a traditional politician,
Mhm.
and but there is missing years in his life
Mhm.
because secretly he has become an Islamic fundamentalist.
Mm.
He has been immersed with the fundamentalist elements in the Middle East for in his younger years. So that
Mhm.
and then he became there's a term in the espionage circle which we call as I forgot the term. Uh, Parang spy sila that has been
Mhm.
implanted in the country uh,
Mhm.
to be later on to be activated to wreak havoc in the country. But they have
Mhm.
connection with the fundamentalist element, Islamic fundamentalist elements in the Middle East, like Al Qaeda, ISIS, those kind of terror groups. So
Mhm.
he helped fundamentalist elements take root in the Philippines and eventually launch a coup against the existing president, using the connection with the
Mhm.
uh, underworld mga criminal organization, drug cartels, and all the criminals in the country and other negative elements.
Mhm.
So they launched a coup in removing the president. That's why it's Operation Black September, because this is an elaborate plan in subverting the
Mhm.
country.
Mhm. Ayun. Wow. Okay. So, Sir Chris, is it even possible for you to read a few excerpts? I'm not sure if you have a copy in front of you of the
Just wait.
manuscript of the book. Yeah. So perhaps you can read a few excerpts para
Just wait. Just
malaman
wait.
ng
Just
mga
wait.
audience natin. Ayan.
Just
Sige
wait.
po. So,
Just wait.
okay, so while you're searching, let me just highlight once again that you can get a copy of Operation Black September for only 850 pesos. That's by Chris Canodigo. So it's a very thick book, 650 page, under our Crime Lab category. So we launched this last Indie PubCon last November. It was at Park Mall, and sayang hindi na umabot ng Cebulit Fest dahil very limited copies, but now you can get it by ordering, right? So what else? So yeah, so while waiting for Sir Chris to read us an excerpt, I would like to say thank you to all those writers who are joining the 31 letters challenge. The 31 letters challenge is meant to encourage you to write every day for the whole month of January. So, kung nakikita nyo yung hashtag 31 letters, I mean, now it's only January 7. Kung gusto nyo humabol, pwede pang humabol. Yeah, go ahead, you guys. My rules, but these are all posted on our Facebook page. So, you can just search that post. Ayan. Sir
Uh,
Chris, whenever
I,
you're ready.
I will just read one of the last paragraphs of the last chapter. Is it
I
okay?
see. Sige, let's do it.
So this location is the Isla de Convalencia. It's the small island in Pasig River. I hope you are familiar with that. It's near Malacanang. So I'll just read the one of the paragraphs of the last chapter of the last chapter and one of the last paragraphs of the book. Okay, Isla de Convalencia, Manila, 0805H, September 22, Saturday. Dagger 1, this is the call sign. Dagger 1 provides covering fire for saber-tooth. This is another call sign, and is detailed after they entered to the attached bridge, linking to the historic island, which also served as elderly home and orphanage. Some of the 𝐂𝐂𝐃𝐊 security detail are likewise wounded. Most of their comrades were left behind, who are either dead or dying. They have no choice but to leave them. Foxtrot went ahead towards the gate on the other end. They must never allow these terrorists to enter this compound, as they are innocent. Having them as further collateral damage to the already bloody mayhem is just too much. So is it okay? This is the only paragraph I will say as a teaser.
Okay, medyo bitin.
Okay.
Medyo bitin.
Yes.
Ayun. Yeah,
Okay.
but that's okay. Ayan. So, there you have it. An excerpt. Pwede pa po kayang magbasa ng isa pang excerpt? How about the one in the beginning? The
Hello?
one in
Yes?
the beginning. Yeah. How about the
The
one in
what?
the beginning? Maybe, kasi usually po, like, we would suggest like 2 to 3 excerpts, like to
Okay.
further. So maybe you can choose somewhere from chapter 1. Maybe the chapter 1 na lang.
Okay. That's it. Chapter 1. Okay. The one in Malacanang. Okay.
Okay.
Chapter 1, Music Room, Malacanang Palace, 2039H, September 18, Tuesday. President Santiago stood solemnly as he waited for the arrival of the Russian ambassador to present his credentials. It has been a very busy day as he just arrived from Cebu, where he met with the local chamber. Being the chief executive has its perks as well as its responsibility in running the affairs of the state. Foreign Affairs Secretary Ramon Guevara has been escorting the incoming emissary, being new to the country. It has been raining the last few days since there has been a tropical depression lately. Wearing his white long sleeve barong Tagalog, he checked his watch, and it seems everything is running on schedule. He has never been comfortable in wearing coat and tie, as he believes this is too Western and not Filipino. President Emmanuel Santiago, despite his untarnished image as a neophyte politician who has swept into power reluctantly, he has always been very sensitive in taking care of his reputation. His ascent to the presidency has been described as phenomenal. From a career technocrat in the business community, he was the first leader who have declined the pork barrel system and has never used any funds for his benefit, even his personal life. His family and even his friends were never granted any form of favors. A man of few words, yet has even sent friends behind bars, despite some allegations of nepotism, which were not proven and only hearsay to say to say the least. Probably one of the youngest president in this country ever had, whose stature even matched with the late Ramon Magsaysay at age 42. A man of the masses whose features and profile has been identified as a common tao or commoner, so to speak. So, is that okay?
Yes, all good. Thank you so much, Sir Chris,
Okay.
for that amazing read. Okay, so I hope nagustuhan
Okay.
nyo guys yung excerpts na nabasa sa atin ni Sir Chris. Ayan. So, we'll be taking a short break after this. And then we'll proceed with the other book launch. It will be The Empty Tank by J.Z. Romeo. So, Sir Chris, to conclude Republica series Operation Black September. So, could you invite our viewers right now to get a copy of your book? And of course, where else can we follow you? Saan namin mahanap kung ano yung susunod na update to your upcoming books? Ayan.
Actually, sa Facebook account ko lang. I have already created a group for the 𝗕𝗵𝗿 series, but I still have to update it, to activate it, because I've been very tired in the last few days. So maybe in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I will be able to upgrade my dedicated 𝗕𝗵𝗿 series page dedicated for this project. For initially, dito lang muna sa Facebook account ko. I think you know my account, Ma'am Cindy.
Yes, so just search Chris Canonigo, or of course we're going to post more updates of the 𝗕𝗵𝗿 series on our FB page, as well as the Crime Lab FB page. Ayan. So we'll be taking a short break. Thank you so much, Sir Chris, for gracing the show. Happy New Year, and I'm sure we're very much looking forward. I think we're working on the second edition of Operation Black September, because we wanted to add that Ping Lacson's endorsement. Yeah. Ayun. Sige. Ayan. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Happy weekend.
Happy weekend. We'll see you in a bit, you guys. Ayan, welcome to the second half of the book talk here at 8 Letters. Once again, I'm your book curator and your host for today, Cindy Wong. And, well, we're going to have a romance Cebuano writer here with us today. We're going to talk about Empty Tank with Jay-Z Romeo. But of course, before I get her on stage, I'll have to, well, tell you a little something more about her. So, Jay-Z Romeo is an inspirational poet and a romance novelist. She's also a dedicated housewife and a mother to 4 children. She's a degree holder of commerce, majoring in management, accounting, and she discovered her passion for writing poems way back when she was 14 years old, when her Filipino teacher required her to compose a tula as a project. Ayan. So, however, she took a long hiatus after she graduated from college, and in 2020, during the pandemic, her fire to write has been ignited once again. At that time, she also started to explore composing novels, and currently, she continues to share her talent with the world with her top 3 goals: to motivate others, to let Jesus be known, and to be a co worker of God's kingdom. So, without further ado, may I call on Miss Daisy? Hi!
Hello, Miss Cindy. Good afternoon.
Good
Good
afternoon!
afternoon.
Maayong
Mayong
good
hapon. Mayong
hapon pa
hapon sa
pala. Oo nga.
tanan.
Ayun. Hapon pa pala.
Yes.
Yan. So,
May hapon, yes.
ayan. So, again, another Cebuano author. But don't worry, hindi kami magbibisay dito. Magtatagalog na lang kami. Or we'll
Yes.
try to shift from one language to another. But,
Yes.
yun. This is what we're going to talk about. Empty Tank. Yan. Congratulations,
Thank you
Miss
so much, Miss
JP.
Cindy. Yes.
Ayun. So, katulad ni Sir Chris kanina, na yung book niya na Operation Black September, nilaunch din natin to last Indie PubCon noong November. So,
Yes, yes.
um, Miss JZ, firstly, bago tayo pumunta sa Empty Tank mismo, pwede ba natin pag-usapan? Like, I read that you're a mother of 4. How can you even
Yes.
manage it?
For me, Miss Cindy, mahirap siya, pero if you have the passion, so you can attain your goal. For example, for me, so humahanap ako ng bakanting oras kung saan pwede ako magsusulat. And for my what do you call this pinaka convenient ko na time is halimbawa yung tulog yung mga bata, so may time na madaling araw or pagkatapos silang kumain kung saan tulog sila, so yun yung nagsusulat ako para maging productive din ako.
Ayun, wow. So, time management is the key.
Yes.
Bale.
Yes.
Ayun. So, ayan. So, sabi na, kasi like, ayun nga, isa lang yung anak ko, pero nahihirapan akong mag-manage. Hirap. Well, may isa akong baby, yung 8 letters, pero yun nga. Dahil sa 8 letters, hindi na ako nakapagsulat. But, you're an inspirational poet. So, doon ka
Yes.
nagsimula, bago ka
Yes.
napunta sa romance. Tama ba?
Yes, Miss Cindy.
So, ano ba yung mga, like, example ng mga sinusulat mo before na inspirational? Dedicated ba ito to a particular, person, audience, ganun? Para din ba ito sa mga nanay? Or may specific audience ka ba dito?
Sa mga tulak ni Cindy, walang specific audience. Kasi yan siya, parang for general yung mga topics ko. Pero may naman siya. For example, yung pinakaunang sinulat ko, i-share ko lang ito yung entitled Love, Mommy. So ito yung dinedicate ko sa mga kabataan kung gaano kamahal sila ng kanilang ina. And so marami pa itong mga topics. For example, Miss Cindy, the infidelity. I have also the borrowed life. Kasi na-experience ko rin na mamatayan ng anak. So, yun, shinare ko kung paano ko yun nalampasan yung grief at saka kung paano ako nag-move on from that challenge, from that struggle. So, actually, marami kasi as of now, I have 77 all inspirational poems. So, by English, the dominant is English, so 47 as of now, and then my Filipino, and then of course my Cebuano din.
Ayun. So,
Yes.
bakit mo naman, well, I cannot imagine what you went through, pero obviously, ito yung nag-inspire sa'yo para makabuo ka ng 77 inspirational points
Yes.
or maybe even more. Ayan. So, okay, so paano ka nag-switch from poetry and then now you're writing romance? Kasi yung ilalunch natin ngayon is itong romance novel. So, paano ka napunta doon?
So actually, Miss Sins, gusto ko lang din na magsulat na may touch ng fiction. So yun, actually itong mga sinusulat kong novels, Miss Sins, ay based ito sa from my own experience. So for example, itong empty tank, so ako yung kumbaga si Golda, so dumaan ako bilang pub attendant. Tsaka ito yung gusto kong maparating na lalo na sa mga kabataan ngayon, alam natin na maraming naghihirap. So, gusto ko iparating na walang imposible kung tayo ay may magpupursige at saka lalo na sa lahat na may pagtitiwala tayo sa Diyos. So, we can be successful. At saka yun, naisip ko, Mrs. na syempre marami din ang nahumaling sa mga, lalo na yung sa time natin, no, yung mga batang 90s na nakahiligan natin na pagbasa ng mga romance packet books. So yun yung mga PHR. So doon ako na-expire na what if magsusulat ako ngayon. And this time hindi lang siya parang nilagyan ko ng take, kumbaga kakaibang taste para maging kaiba siya. So dito marami akong mga lesson na ipinarating dito. So, halimbawa sa heartbreak, yung mga betrayal, so paano natin yun malagpasan?
So yun, napag-usapan kasi natin nung last na indie pub ko, no, na saan tayo kumuha ng mga reading materials before, nung bata pa tayo. Oo, so parang medyo relate kami ni Miss Daisy kasi panay din yung basa namin ng mga romance novels, yung mga maikli. So that's why, yeah, ako din, nagsulat din ako dati ng ganito kaikli na romance novel. But, so, ngayon naman, yung empty tank, okay, so si Golda yung ating protagonist dito sa story na to. And then,
Yes.
Isa siyang gasoline
girl.
Gasoline girl. Ayan. So, which is na-experience mo rin. So,
yes.
Gaano ka totoo yung like, it's better if you write what you know. Kasi nga,
Yes,
na-experience mo na to, or nag-explore ka pa rin ba sa mga bagay na hindi mo na-experience, pero gusto mong isulat?
Yes. At yes, totoo yan, Miss Cindy, na malaking bagay na kapag nagsusulat tayo ay based sa own experience natin. Kasi mas madali na lang siya na isulat natin kasi nga napagdaanan natin siya. So, pero kahit pa man na may experience, so kailangan pa rin natin ng research. So, hindi lang kasi tayo nagsusulat na practice may mabasa ng iba. So, kailangan natin din na maging eligible yung mga sinusulat natin kasi malaki yung impact natin sa mga readers. So, mahalaga na yung binibigay nating mga information ay facts din. So, hindi lang siya na purely fictional, but I believe na dapat din siya na naka-based sa reality.
Ayun.
Yes.
So, para mas realistic at mas relevant sa mga mambabasa, no? Para mas makarelate naman sila. Ayan. So si Golda, so I can see na, ayon sa pagkakabasa ko ng blurb, medyo ano ko lang ito ng konti, pakita ko lang. Isa siyang masipag na college student. Pero paano naman yung kanyang love interest? Can we describe him? Ano siyang klaseng lalaki?
Si 𝐕𝐿𝐴? Si 𝐕𝐿𝐴, Miss Cindy.
𝐕𝐿𝐴. Oo, si 𝐕𝐿𝐴.
Yes.
Paano siya nahulog? Paano nahulog si Golda kay 𝐕𝐿𝐴? Anong meron kay 𝐕𝐿𝐴? Ayan.
So, ito yan rin yung realistic dito, Miss Cindy. Kasi di ba, pag nagtatrabaho na tayo, so may mga tao tayo nakakasama. So, in the long run, hindi natin yun mapapansin na, di ba, palagi natin silang kasama. So, medyo magkakagaanan ng loob and in the long run, magkakainlaban na. So, yun yung nangyari sa kanila. So, magkasama sila na nagtatrabaho sa isang gasoline station. Yes.
Ayun.
And
So, dahil magkasama
yes.
sila.
Yes.
Okay. So, ano ba siya? Malakas ba yung charisma niya?
Yes. Actually, ito si Hemler sa pagkaka-describe ko ng character niya. So may ano siya, may dimples. So, personally, yes, personally, sa lalaki, ito yung parang pang-magnet sa isang babae. So, yun yung, kaya yun yung napili ko na profile ni Hemler. Pero, yun yung doon yung pumasok, yung problema nila nung nagka-separate ways na sila. Yes.
Ayun. Okay, so wag na natin i-spoil itong, hindi na natin yung sasabihin.
Yes.
So, sorry, gusto ko sabihin to. Kasi may point or may part dito na ng ghost si Hemler.
Yes. Natandaan mo pa rin yun ni Cindy.
Oo, syempre natatandaan ko. Oo. So, ayun nga, nag-ghost si Hemler kay Golda. So, si Hemler is still a student din, tulad ba ni Golda?
Yes, actually, itong si Hemler ni Cindy ay isang computer engineering. So, bale, nagkakahiwalay sila ng school. Kaya yun. So, hindi na natin i-spoil. Basta doon na yun nagsimula.
Okay.
Yes.
Ayun. So, well, hopefully, hindi siya mag-end as an empty tank.
Yes.
Sana filled tank na to. Okay,
yes.
So, happy ever after naman to, no? Maganda naman yung, ending.
Actually, Miss Cindy, itong empty tank ay parang medyo bitin. So, ginawan ko ng sequel. So, ito yun yung ginagawa ko, yes. And it is entitled Tune Up. Tune Up yung title.
Tune Up, okay.
Yes.
Tune Up.
So, parang ito yung sequel, yes. Kasi gusto ko na, parang nakulangan ako doon sa ending. So, kailangan ko pang mas i-elaborate kung ano pa yung mas naging experience ni Golda after that heartbreak, and at the same time after that, hindi ko na-spoil, basta after na doon yung heartbreak, kung ano pa yung naging daloy ng buhay niya.
So sabi mo, medyo nabitin ka sa pagsusulat nito. Is it because, tinanong ko rin to kanina kay Sir Chris, is it because you just went with the flow, at hindi mo masyadong, alam mo yun, minsan kasi may mga writers na, okay, planado to lahat, may mapping, ganyan. Pero ito, well, sabihin natin, in-enjoy mo yung process at nag-go with the flow ka na lang kung saan pupunta yung kwento.
So actually ito, Miss Cindy, ang pagkasulat ko pa lang, naisipan ko na nagawa na siya ng sequel. Kasi, basta not to spoil, pero gusto ko kasing magkaroon sila ng happy ending. So, so bilang isang babae, gusto kong ipaabot na hindi lahat ay tragic. So, pwedeng maging happy tayo sa ending, kahit pa man sa mga struggles, sa mga problema na napagdaanan natin.
Ayun. Okay. So, ayan. Binabasa lang natin yung mga comments dito na medyo marami kang fans na nanonood ngayon.
Hello. Good afternoon. Ako nabasa ko, Miss Cindy.
Oo, ayan. Good afternoon sa inyo.
Salamat
sa support. Thank you for supporting Daisy Romeo. So, okay. So, kailan naman lalabas tong sequel na to? Tong Tune Up?
Yes, hopefully, Miss Cindy, kung magpapatuloy yung Simulit Fest. So, for this year. So, yun yung wino-workout ko sa ngayon. Para at least ready na siya.
Yan. Okay.
Yes, so, Miss Cindy,
Okay, so that's good. That's good news. May Tune Up, nakasunod after ng Empty Tank. And ngayon, ang sunod kong question naman ay, well, meron ka rin ilalabas na mga poetry books, di ba?
Yes, Cindy.
Ano to, sinusulat mo ba sila ng sabay-sabay? Usually, okay, we're talking about your writing process here. So, pag
Yes.
pagod ka na kay Golda, ito ka pwede may
Oo, ito, actually, Miss Cindy, the transition is challenging for me. Kasi, di ba, fictional, so more on, masasabi natin yung may part na carnal doon. And then, worldly. So, doon naman sa poetry ko is more on spiritual. So, ang ginagawa ko is, like, for example, um, every Sunday ako gumagawa halos. Ito yung routine ko, Miss Cindy, na every Sunday ako gumagawa ng inspirational poem. And then, sa weekdays naman, so doon ko pinapasok yung fiction, yung mga novel. So, yun yung ginagawa ko, Miss Cindy, kasi mahirap kasi yung parang alternate. So, parang, magkakahalo-halo yung mga ideas, ganun. So, yun yung ginawa ko na lang na routine.
Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah, okay. At least alam natin kung paano tayo, paano yung naging proseso mo sa pagsusulat. How long did it take you to write Empty Tank? Mabilis lang ba to? Oo.
Yes, Empty Tank, Miss Cindy, natapos ko ito ng almost 3 months.
3 months.
Yes, yes.
Wow. Okay. Wow, kanina si Sir Chris Canonico, 3 years. Kasi, well, 650 pages nga naman yung kanyang book. But itong
Yes.
Empty Tank, pwede natin itong basahin over the weekend. Mabilis ang, ayun.
Kahit nga isang lang, one sitting, Miss Cindy, kaya eh.
Kaya,
17 chapters lang naman, oo.
Oo, kasi page turner naman siya. So, gusto mo na malaman kung anong susunod na mangyayari. Okay, so, I think this is also a good chance para, ayan, ipakita sa inyo. Ayan yung book cover ng Empty Tank. It's only 299 pesos. It's available sa website namin. It will be available sa aming Shopee at Lazada very soon. So, i-check nyo lang. Stay tuned lang kayo sa mga links na i-share namin. Ayan, $3.99. Very abot kaya. Murang-mura. Ayan. So, paano yung naging process mo dito ng book cover? I see na marami kang, okay, sa mga FB postings mo, nakikita ko na very frequent ka mag-post, very active ka. How do you handle your community as an indie writer?
For me, Miss Cindy, nasabi ko to sa event doon sa 𝗵𝗲𝗿 Fest. So, gusto ko lang sabihin ulit, and then ito rin ay kasama sa sinusulat ko na motivational quote na entitled Selfless Pursuit na book. So for me, napakalaga ng how to build connections. So for me, Miss Cindy, marami akong actually yung mga nakikita mo mga nagko-comment, yan yung mga friends ko. So actually, nabuo yan sila, Miss Cindy, from Wattpad. So, di ba, from sa Facebook, so my friends ng friends, so nag-a-add. So, yun lang. So, kailangan nating maging friendly sa kanila. But not friendly na kasi may gusto kang kukunin. Kasi, importante yung friendly, yung how you are being a genuine friend to them. So, yun yung ginawa ko, Miss Cindy, na sa makikita mo sa post ko, tinutulungan ko silang mag-share, nag-promote ako. During my, hindi ko matawag na free time ito kasi pinaglalaanan ko talaga ng oras. Halimbawa, may isang book from an undiscovered writer na binabasa ko every week. Kasi gusto ko nga silang yung ma-uplift message kasi naniniwala ko sa kanilang kakayahan eh. So, ito yung parang nakita ko na ito yung goal ko, ito yung mission field ko, ang Wattpad community na para matulungan sila.
Nakakatuwa naman. And I can see na they're very supportive here sa panonood ngayon. And that's very important. And tama ka sa sinabi mo na not because may gusto kang may gusto kang gawin, but also it's a give and take process talaga dito sa indie publishing industry. Hindi porket writer ka, you only promote your work, but tulungan talaga dito eh. Sabi nga dito, it's a community. So yun, that's great. So Miss JZ, is it possible for you to read some excerpts from the book para naman magkaroon ng glimpse atong mga nanonood natin ngayon?
Sure, Miss Cindy. So, actually, itong babasahin ko, ito yung scene na after nagpa-enroll ni Golda sa college. So, ito babasahin ko. This is from Hemler. Kumusta naman ang enrollment mo kahapon, love? Maayos naman. May naging kaibigan agad ako, si Clarissa. At saka, ang maganda pa ay same course lang kami at magkapitbahay lang din kami. Masayang pagbabalita ni Golda sa binata. Mabuti naman, sambit ni Hemler na sinabayan pa ng pagtango. At least, kampante ako sa bawat pag-uwi mo na mayroon kang kasama. Ikaw ba, love? Kailan ka magpapa-enroll? Itutuloy mo ba ang course mo ng computer engineering? Yes, love. Alam mong mahilig ako sa computer, di ba? Mahal ko naman ang course ko. Pero mas mahal kita. Asus, lambola ka naman eh. Dinorot niya ito sa gilid. Sa halip ng maray ay malutong na tumawa ito at sinuklay ang tila kortinang buhok gamit ang mga daliri. Totoo yun. Kaya love, magpapatuloy tayo na abutin ang mga pangarap natin sa buhay. Support kita. Suportahan mo rin ako. Seryosong wika nito. Oo naman, love. Basta pag may gwapong aaligid sa'yo, umiwas ka lang. Anong gwapo? Nasa tabi ko naman ang sinasabi mong gwapo eh. Mabilis siya ninakawan ni Hemler ng halik sa pisngi. Bilang kante, ay kinurot naman niya ang tagiliran nito at saka sila nag-akbayang muli. Sa pag-ihip ng mapangahas na hangin, ay hindi nila hahayaang malaglag ang kanilang pag-ibig at pangarap, gaya ng pagkalaglag ng mga lantang dahon sa lupa. Sa iyo ni Cindy.
Wow, nakakamiss naman ng mga landian days ng college. Okay, thank you for that, Miss JC. Ayan, medyo kinilig ako doon. Well, iba talaga ang romance ng mga bata-bata pa, no? So, but yeah, that's, well, I think it's, sana naengganyo kayo sa pagbabasa ni Miss JC. It's only 399 pesos. Kunin nyo na, add to cart nyo na, and then, ayan, makita nyo dyan, 8 letters website, 8lettersbooks.com/shop. Just search for Empty Tank, Daisy Romeo. Pwede rin sa Shopee and Lazada. Ayan, so agad-agad naman namin siya ship. Okay, so only 399 pesos. Alright, so, Miss Daisy, okay, so that's Golda and Hemler. Okay.
Yes.
Hemler. Ayan. So, do you see yourself ba na magsusulat pa ng more romance stories na aside kay Golda and Hemler?
Yes, Miss Cindy, actually may mga coming na akong mga stories na nasa isip, nasa drafts actually. So aside from this, you can say young or new adult genre or yes, what we call subgenre. So I'm planning also to write, gusto ko rin mag-try ng dark theme na romance story.
Oh,
Yes.
dark theme. Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
so you're a very versatile writer. Parang kaya mong maging flexible kung ano yung
Yes.
theme. Okay.
Yes.
So, pero I think yung dark theme, okay, we'll have to see that. Kailangan kita natin. So, that's a challenge for you.
Yes, very challenging talaga, Miss Cindy.
Oo. So, yan. So, Miss JC, saan ka naman namin pwedeng i-follow? Ayan, sa mga hindi pa nakaka-follow sa'yo, how can we reach you? How can we reach you?
Okay, sa mga gustong mag-connect sa akin, so I'm active on Wattpad. So my pen name there is JZ Romeo. So capital GCR and then small lang letters na OMEO. So yun, one word lang siya, JZ Romeo. And then sa Facebook din, so I have account, it's JZ Romeo. So 2 words siya, JZ, 1 word, and then Romeo is the second word. So yun, Miss Cindy.
Ayun. Thank you so much, Miss JZ, for
Yes, thank you.
doing this with us, allocating your precious Saturday time with the 8 letters. And
I am pleased.
hopefully, ayun po, hopefully, sa susunod naman, no, mga susunod na book launches mo, we will get to meet again. So,
Yes.
thank you, Miss JV, and
Thank you so much, Miss Cindy. Thank you sa mga
Ayun.
nanood, ng mga friends ko.
Ayun,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you again, you guys, next Saturday for another book talk. Ayan, so for now, have a nice week and happy weekend. Thank you so much.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.